Right, we're told that the two triangles in the diagram are similar. Well, there are two triangles. Yes, there are. ABE is one of them and ACD is the other. So there are the two triangles. Now, as ever, the best thing to do when you've got overlapping triangles like this is to draw them out separately. So let's do that. So there's ABE, and that's 8 and 12 on there, and then there's the bigger triangle, which is ACD, and we've got 15 there, and AC is 8 plus X, is it not? Right, and those two triangles are similar, I'm told. Right, let's get back to the question. There are two possible values of X. Are there indeed? Right, we'll work out Y in a minute. Yeah, we're supposed to work out those values and state any assumptions we make in our working. Well, let's just sort of go forward and see if we can see what's happening. In the usual course of things, what we would do is we would find a scale factor, and that would be the number we multiply by to get from one triangle to the other. Now, why are there two possible values of X? Well, you might look at these and assume that the equivalent sides are 12 and 15. In other words, the triangles are similar the way up they are. But actually, it could be that the equivalent sides that we're going to use are the 8 and the 15. And in fact, ADC is sort of flipped, if you like. So there are two different scale factors we might use. And so we can say if the angle ABE is equal to the angle ACD. Let's just see what I mean by that. What I mean is if this angle here is equal to this angle here, so the two angles with blobs, and indeed the triangles are the same way up, then the scale factor, and this is sort of the obvious thing to do, is, well, that was the first scenario where AE and AD are equivalent sides. So the scale factor is the second one over the first one, as always. So that's 15 over 12, which you might call 5 over 4 or 1.25. And that would mean that AC, being the equivalent side to AB, would be 5 over 4 times as long. Okay, so that would be 8 plus X is 5 over 4 times 8. And that doesn't take long to sort out. Let's do some cancelling. The 8 over the 4 gives me 2 over 1. And so 8 plus X is equal to, well, I've just got 5 times 2 over 1, which is 10 on the right. And subtracting 8 from both sides gives me X equals 2. So there's one possibility. But if that second triangle is in fact the other way up, as it were, then ABE would be equal to ADC. And they would be similar in that respect. So I can now say if ABE is equal not to ACD but to ADC, so the two blobs that are now marked are equal. And now we set off and do a similar thing. So then the scale factor is, well, as I say, the equivalent sides now would be the 8 and the 15. And so the scale factor would be not 15 over 12, but 15 over 8, which actually I can't simplify. And that would mean that the equivalent side to the x plus 8 is the 12. And so it would be x plus 8 is equal to 15 over 8, the scale factor, times 12. And if I do a little bit of cancelling there, 12 over 8, they both divide by 4, so that's 3 over 2. So I've got 15 times 3 over 2 on the right there. And what can I do with that? Well, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Now I know I've possibly skipped a step here, but that does give me, and I'll go below the question total there, that gives me, well, let's have a look at this bit. 15 times 3 is 45 over 2. Okay, so that's 45 over 2, or if you like, 22.5. Okay, let's just explain that at the side here. Okay, 15 times 3 over 2 is 45 over 2, or 22.5. And I've still got the minus 8, and so x is in fact equal to, well, if I take 8 away from 22, I get 14. And I've still got the 0.5, so x is 14.5. And we're in centimetres, so let's put centimetres on both things there. Right, so there we go. Two different ways of looking at that question, and two different answers. X equals 2 and x equals 14.5. End of.